Thank you very much, Madam Fatia, and congratulations for this successful meeting. Our guest of honor, Your Excellency Abdul Qadir Kamil Mohammed, Prime Minister of the Republic of Djibouti, Your Excellency Isman Ibrahim Robale, Minister for Labor in charge of Formalization and Social Protection, Republic of Djibouti, Your Excellency Taisar Al-Nur Mohammed, Representative of Republic of Sudan, our Chair, Your Excellencies Cabinet Ministers of the Republic of Djibouti, Your Excellency Alexo Musindo, Director of ILO in our region, Your Excellencies, representatives from international organizations, dear participants, distinguished member states, representatives, ambassadors, good morning. It is indeed an honor and privilege for me to welcome you all to this first IGAD Ministerial Conference of Labor, Employment, and Labor Migration. First, I sincerely want to thank the government and the people of Djibouti, our gracious host, for hosting the IGAD Secretariat and the dozens of IGAD staffs here in Djibouti, including myself, who are labor migrants here in Djibouti. It has been said that the first thing that a migrant sends back home is not money, it is a story. If this is true, Your Excellencies, then I can assure you that for those of us who have come to work here in Djibouti, we have sent back stories of not just how hot Djibouti is, but also how peaceful and beautiful Djibouti, the country of very friendly and beautiful people. Labor migration is aspiration in motion. It is an expression of desire of greater economic opportunities, improved social security, and more secure livelihood. History has been the side of the countries that receive migrants. They have proven to be the invaluable assets that have made an incalculable contribution to the building of some of the greatest nations on earth. Here in the IGAD region, Your Excellency, our greatest asset is our people, which is the source of labor. According to latest African Union Migration Statistics report, over half of our population, that is more or less 53.6%, is of working age between 18 and 16. This means that we have over 150 million people in our region capable of being economically productive. However, the functional economic opportunities in this region do not match the labor asset we have in hand. The review of labor participation data in the region showed that only 38.8% of our people were actively engaged in the labor force. This means that 6 out of 10 of IGAD citizens, which is 250 million citizens, are not fully participating in the labor force. The limited ability of the regional labor market to accommodate existing workers and absorb the new entrants is one of the principal drivers of our labor migration from our region. At the same time, Your Excellencies, the IGAD region is also home of the influx of labor migrants. Between 2008 and 2017, the number of migrants coming to seek work in the IGAD region increased by 196%. According to the African Union, this makes IGAD and the East Africa region the second most popular destination for labor migrants after South Africa. This exponential growth in the number of migrant workers is this stark contrast with the modest growth of the population and labor force in IGAD region. The statistics revealed that 3 times more international migrant workers are entering Africa's labor market compared to the indigenous labor force. This is creating increased competition for job and entrepreneurial opportunities. This notwithstanding, the IGAD region is also endowed with a significant natural and human resource, including potentially arable land, hydro and marine assets, mineral, oils and gas reserves, alternative energy sources, transport and communication infrastructures, and most importantly, a vibrant youth base that accounts for over 65% of our regional population. A vast majority of this constitutes, Your Excellency, a dormant capital base which, if properly activated and tapped into, holds significant potential to unlock and create vast employment and livelihood opportunities. From a realistic perspective, Your Excellencies, a number of important preconditions must be met and structural obstacles overcome in order to effectively unlock these opportunities, but also exploit them with any measurable degree of sustainability. First and foremost, it goes without saying that peace, security, and stability are the bedrock upon which a solid economic, social, and regulatory base is laid upon. As long as fragility persists in IGAD at a regional, national, and subnational levels, progress in creating employment, grooming and effective working and regularizing labor migration will remain very limited. We all therefore have a collective duty, Your Excellency, to lend our support in resolving disputes and preventing conflict at regional, national, and intercommunal levels. We need to diversify the economic base of IGAD region in order to reduce reliance on the agriculture and public sector for employment creation. We must also deliberately address the mismatch between the skills that are available and the demand of the labor market. This calls for simultaneously analyzing future employment trend and recalibrating our national education system accordingly to generate the required skill. We must pay attention to the regulatory and protection environment for workers and migrant laborers. Whilst my first 2 observations above are broad-based proposals, Your Excellencies, that require a whole-of-society approach, this suggestion falls squarely within the ambit of IGAD and our partners at this meeting. Already between IGAD and our member states, the AU and the United Nations system represented today by the ILO, existed a wide-ranging regulatory framework that seeks to advance and protect the right of labor and migrant workers. In this rich regulatory environment, the challenge lies in translating our well-intentioned policies into tangible actions. For instance, we are all well aware of the disheartening account of the systemic abuse and exploitation of migrant workers, especially from the IGAD region, who continue to make a significant contribution to the economies of other countries. This is an opportunity for this platform to put Your Excellencies, in place a regional mechanism that is sufficiently empowered to engage at the bilateral and multilateral level with regular bodies and nations that are implementing legal framework that discriminate against migrant workers in a labor law and promote normative system which grant employees excessive control over migrant workers. The endorsement of the IGAD regional guidelines on the rights-based bilateral labor agreement at this meeting, Your Excellencies, will go a long way in formulating agreements that improve decent working conditions and enhance legal protection for migrants from our region. Most of them are crossing the rivers, the oceans, and the sea. Moreover, the success of African Continental Free Trade Area relies squarely upon free movement of people, capital, and service within our continent. In this regard, IGAD has made significant strides toward realizing free movement, reaching through the universal adoption of the IGAD Protocol on Free Movement and its implementation roadmap by the Council of Ministers of IGAD region in June of this year. For this, I want to thank the foreign ministers of the IGAD region, chaired by Sudan, for the endorsement of very historical protocol of free movement of people. And also we are expecting the ratification of that document. Whereas we are encouraging that 32 out of the 55 African Union member states have signed the AU protocol in free movements, IGAD is nevertheless concerned that only 4 have ratified it. So we also need support from this forum, this meeting, Your Excellencies, for the endorsement and ratification of these documents. Finally, I will conclude my remark by noting that we cannot improve what we have not measured. It is vital that all our activities, interventions, and innovations are based on solid evidence, credible data, and insightful analysis. During my preparation for this meeting, Your Excellencies, it concerned me greatly that some of the labor data we are relying upon is almost 5 years out of date. I call upon this meeting to come up with ways and means through which we will have a clearer and more up-to-date pictures of the IGAD labor market, which is very significant and important for our economy. In this regard, I propose the establishment of the regional observatory that will closely monitor labor market trends. I further urge this meeting to consider formulating mechanisms to redress the limited capacity of our labor market institutions to collect and disseminate sector disaggregated employment data that can be collated within the regional labor market formation system. Before I conclude, I want to thank again, Excellency, the Prime Minister, who came to grace us from his very busy schedule, and also I want to thank the ministers, our member states who came from different countries to this beautiful country, and hope this meeting will be successful. Thank you very much.